Welcome to LifePlusPlus, where we aim to add more value to life by sharing knowledge, life lessons, and combined experiences from our friends, colleagues, and associates. In each episode, we'll be talking about real-life issues and things that are important to you. So if there's anything you want us to discuss, leave them in the comments section below or email us at lifeplusplus@thethrowdown.com. Throwdown is THATHROWDOWN. This episode is brought to you by thethrowdown.com. Welcome. I am Lambo the Virus. And with me today, I have a very, very special guest. This guy, popularly known as the Energy God, I have renamed to the Positive Energy God. Shopsy Doo, what's goody, bro?
My brother, Lambo the Virus. Listen, for some of those people that are listening to this podcast and watch the video and just think, Lambo is this dude that just wants to talk positivity about the industry, what's going on. This is a legend right here. This is one of the people that made it easy for people like me to do what I do now and what I've done for a while. I've always been a fan. You've always known that.
Yeah.
The Kososhi brand.
Kososhi, man.
Yo, go and do your Googles. Check out Lambo the Virus, Kososhi.
Bah.
Amazing rapper.
Listen,
man, it's a pleasure to be here.
Safe.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you being here as well, man. And thanks for the kind words.
Nah.
Dude, what's going on? 2020, Kilan Sheni, man.
I think right now, especially with this whole Afrobeats culture, Afropop culture, the explosion of not only the big artists, the music, concerts, 2020 has to be the year where we get the business right.
Word.
And open it up for everybody. I want the coders, the programmers that
Technology.
love Afrobeats to come in and really be tech savvy, knowing how to push our culture online. I want those that are, that love the styling, the fashion to come out and become this incredible stylist. Arts, we haven't even gone to it all.
No, we haven't.
We see it bit by bit in videos, in pictures, but we haven't explored that part at all. There are so many parts of this industry that can feed itself. It's a food chain that if we lay the business properly, everybody finds a position where they're going to be able to feed themselves properly and point it directly at the Afrobeats culture, the DJs, the PRs, the broadcasters, the TV personalities, those people that are doing so much in pushing the culture forward. It's time for us to get a business model right and start to expand into different areas and do what, like I said to you off camera, I think Afrobeats and Afropop culture right now, it's at a position where hip-hop was in 1995. Where you had the Bad Boy, you had, you had the Tupac Shakur, P. Diddy, Suge Knight.
Dog Pound.
We've got everybody. We've got Mavens, Don Jazzy.
Yeah.
We have Whiskey, Davido. We have these stars. If you cross over to Ghana, Sarkodie, Shatta Wale, you go over to Cameroon, you go over to Kenya. We have all these people within the African popular culture, particularly artists. But I think, the industry has relied solely on the success of these artists for about a decade now, if not longer than that. So it's time for the industry to make it even more. So if the artist isn't making money, now you're hearing stuff like, people ain't happy because, this artist used to be signed to this label. Now he's gone that label. He's blown up. So his former label are trying to come for him now to get more money because every part of success in this industry right now still lies on the artist table. But guess what? The success is not the responsibility of the artist alone. It's not his doing alone.
Facts.
Maybe the artist he brings in about 30%. The personality and perhaps the vocals. The production is somebody else.
True.
The marketing and the PR, is somebody else.
Yeah.
The branding, the image is somebody else. you know, the social media marketing, the online, you know, targeting and stuff like that. That's somebody
Someone
else.
That's true.
So it's time for those little guys and little girls behind these incredible superstars that have put us in such a fantastic position to start getting their recognition and getting what they're worth and what they deserve. And, you know, a lot of people, including people like myself, have dedicated a long time to this industry now. And it's time for people to be able to say, oh, you know, what do you do, man? This guy is part of the, you know, this guy works for, you know, Bad Boy record label. He's an A&R. A&Rs, for crying out loud. You know, and we have all of these guys.
Yeah. Are these guys getting paid
That's
the right
problem.
amount?
So that's why I said the business side of the industry really needs to be sorted out in 2020. You know, I want the A&Rs to be right. I want to see, you know, somebody that claims to be the A&R of a massive album to pull up in a nice car, you know.
Yeah.
And him being shopped from Maven Records to Chocolate City because he was a successful A&R at Maven Records that gave maybe Corey De Bello his first incredible album. He A&R'd Ricardo Banks' album, and then Chocolate City coming for him, switch him, took him over to A&R CK's album and stuff like that. I want to see an industry like that. I want you to be able to travel from, you know, Nigeria and go over to South Africa and go and work with the likes of AKA and Casper and all that stuff. But the business right now, we have to get that right this year.
Wait. I hear you and I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But if we're trying to dissect it now and put it under a microscope, where does the responsibility lie in regards to, okay, how do we get the money? How do we pay people their worth?
The entertainers need to be honest. The musicians need to be honest. They need to be 1,000. Like, this wasn't me. You know, it was great. This song is mad, but, you know, shout outs to my boy, maybe Kid Dominant or Sheezy. He made that beat. And then Dakpo, whatever, was the A&R that said, yo, Shopsy Doo, Kid Dominant or Sheezy just made this beat. I think you should do something on this record. It will fit your vocals well. And then after we recorded the song, he was like, I think the song is amazing, but how about we chop the first verse and make the chorus a little bit, add some reverb to the chorus, bring the second verse back into the first verse, switch it around, and that's what made the hit record that you remember today. So that's the producer that makes incredible productions. This is the A&R that said this was the right record for me. And shout outs to Throwdown website for putting me in touch with these people. When the people at the forefront start to talk confidently and, you know, boldly about the people at the background, people start to get what they want. You know, the football players, the agents of football players did not become super agents if the football players didn't find ways to mention their name.
True that.
Manchester United was about to trade, what's his name now? The young brother that's just breaking my heart.
Manchester United.
That's breaking my heart every single week, man. He's been a prodigy for the past 10 years. It still ain't fulfilled his, you know, but my brother, you know, shout outs to him, man. And the week we were talking about selling him on, he announced that he had signed to the super agent who nobody wants to come and sit in front of unless you're bringing a big deal for their client. So guess what happens? Manchester United check themselves. Straight. But the reason why that guy became a super agent was people that he had worked with in the past will talk him up. The football clubs will talk him up. That we're only doing business with this person. We're only doing business with that person. I'll tell you something. I had a meeting with arguably one of the most influential music execs when it comes to black music in the UK, in Semtex.
Oh, yeah, Semtex.
DJ Semtex, the legendary one.
Yep.
And he pretty much just sat me down, and it wasn't really like a meeting. It was almost like
schooling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost like a mentoring session where this DJ opened his door to this guy and say, just sit down, let's talk about your culture. Let me see how I can share ideas with you on how you could even take this to the next level. And he was talking, and I was saying, listen, man, I've worked on some of the biggest records that you've heard in the last 4 or 5 years. I've been
a part of the whole thing,
like from the beginning. And he had a chance to have meetings with some of these artists and the big records that I busted my ass to make sure that the whole world heard, from social media to radio to everything, to believing in this record that from nothing, from before it was mixed and mastered. And you know what DJ Semtex said to me?
What?
He said, I had meetings with 2 of these guys about these records.
And they
never mentioned you. None of those cats ever mentioned you. As far as we're concerned, they were based out of Lagos, Nigeria. The record popped off here in the UK. Nobody knew what the bridge was, and we somehow found a connect. Let me tell you something crazy as well. Even one of those meetings I set up. I set it up.
That's crazy.
But they walked into the meeting and didn't even mention the person that set the meeting up.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. That's crazy.
Shout outs to the artists, man. They're out there today.
That's crazy, man.
They're there. They know.
But why? Why is this? And it's so prevalent in our circle.
What Semtex also told me was that it's not a new phenomenon.
No, it's not.
That it happens within the music industry, particularly the black music culture.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. So he whilst I was holding my chest at
all the
daggers. Shock that they didn't mention my name.
Wow.
Just that. He just said, I know your heart, but that happened to me. He's the head of A&R, I think, across Sony record labels or something. So he's head honcho. He gave deals to the likes of NSG, I think J Hoss or whatever. That's how big he is. And he looked at me in the eye and said, listen, it's happened to me too. This is a legendary hip-hop DJ, no worldwide that's working. So he said, so that's cool. I should even feel proud that happened to me. So that's part of, when a culture is growing and most of the artists will feel like they did it themselves. So...
You see, sadly, I would disagree with Semtex in the fact that he's trying to say it's only isolated within the music industry. This is a black thing. you get it, and that's why it's so painful. The reason, the moment we start to care for each other, we start to pull each other up. Wow.
I think what's happened is sometimes as well, I always try to look at the other side. A lot of these guys and girls have, it's a rough industry. You're trying to come, before you even get to a position of being successful, the amount of shocks you've walked through.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have survived it.
Yeah.
So when you get to the position of success, most of the time you've gotten to a position where you've now thought about yourself as it's about me now. I need to take care of myself first. I need to make sure that I'm good. I don't want to go back to where I've come from. These people took advantage of me. So in that process, you might make some mistakes. There's some positions where people actually do something wrong, but they don't even know. I've also met people that would have done stuff wrong, and when you call them out on it, they're like, yo.
I didn't know.
I was just focused, like tunnel vision. That's happened to everybody. And unfortunately, this is an industry where sometimes, I'll give you examples as well. Sometimes when people are trying to make decisions, they come to you, they're like, yo, Shopsy, and I don't think it's cool. Man, I'm not sure about this deal, man. But at the back of their mind, they really want to do it. Now, Shopsy, that you love so much and respect and adore, because is giving you advice that's contrary
Contrary
to
to
how
it.
your spirit is feeling,
Yeah.
guess what I'm gonna do?
You
Go
avoid it.
behind him and do it.
Yeah. And then from there, you
And
severed
then
that,
you
that whole
cut you. So in the process of doing that
thing.
deal,
Yeah.
I need to cut him off, because if he finds out that it's going to look bad.
Yeah.
So one thing leads to another. Before you know it, it's a big hole.
Yeah.
Shopsy's out there feeling like, yo, I got used. But it was a series of events. It's experience that's got me to this position. Is having been in various relationships, business relationships and real life relationships, that, there are genuine mistakes that happen. Another thing that I learned is, as a people, we need to start talking.
Of course.
And we need to be honest and vocal about things.
Yeah,
yo, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is what we want to get done for it. Blah, 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 blah. But if we're not clear at the beginning, you can't scream that you've been taken advantage of. That's another thing I found.
That's true. But you see, there's one thing that I also can't tend to just separate from us black people. It's only within, tell me if you agree.
Yeah.
It's only within the black community that if I disagree with you on something, even if business is not personal, you take it personal.
It's a problem. Yeah, man.
You can't just have different opinions and still keep it amicable. You can't.
Yeah, I think that's just part of history. I think that's part of upbringing. We've been very territorial from the beginning, and then we've been brought up to think that your success is your own thing. The next person might just be jealous or envious of your success.
Yeah.
So if they don't kind of agree with something you're trying to do, you better just take it away from them.
Yeah.
That type of feeling. And then it grows into different things. And then it breeds different personalities. That's why I said, from now on end, we have to be extremely open with each other. You have to ask clearly. You have to speak your mind, air your thoughts out, and be honest with each other, man. And then try to put your people in the right position, man.
That's the most important.
Come on, man. If you're looking nice, your beard is fresh like Lambo's beard. Slick right now. You're riding the big cars and stuff, but everybody knows that, it was you and 6-7 dogs. Where are these dogs?
You cut your soldiers off. You cut them off.
Like, people are very happy doing that. But we now need to, the fact that we're not our brother's keepers is what has made, some of our African governments what they are.
Did you say some?
Where billionaires happy to live in a place where everybody around them, are in abject poverty, but he can fly a helicopter in first class. He can ride on the G-Wagon jeeps or whatever, whilst the road is absolutely deplorable.
Yep.
He has security and bodyguards and police escorts, whilst the baby next door is open to all sorts of abuse and stuff. So that's the reason
mentality.
why. That's the mentality.
Yeah.
So until we start to think about our brothers and just a trickle-down effect or ripple effect of how this affects a wider community of people, then maybe we'll start thinking properly. Like, yo, if I sign this deal with a record label and I'm going to say, yo, this is my A&R, put him on a payroll, this is my arts and, whatever, my image consultant, please put them on something, this is my da-da-da-da-da. What you've done is you've put 4 or 5 people onto a payroll that trickles down probably into 20 other people.
True that.
Because your A&R has an assistant, your image consultant has an assistant and family. Yeah. Your PR has assistant and family. Yeah. So when you think about that, just that small gesture can put 20 people on.
True that. Facts.
And make 20 people even pray for your success indirectly, because you've blessed somebody that's now blessing them. So they want that business relationship to continue. Yeah. The image consultant might now be big enough to be able to say, okay, I'm going to, hire some guys to do the artwork for me, so I'm not going to be doing that artwork anymore. Yeah. Imagine how the artwork guys feel. They'll be happy. They get second job on a different level. But most of the time, everybody wants to say they do that themselves. You know, you remember the time in Nigeria where artists will put their names as video directors.
Course,
Have you forgotten them?
Yeah.
They've got nothing to do with the video direction. There was a director on site that directed the whole video. The video comes out, and the artist or the manager or whatever puts their name on that to say they directed it, and takes away full credit from the person that created the vision, directed the cameras, brought the whole crew together, set up the whole area. Do you know what they've taken? It's not about what you paid him.
Yeah.
You have robbed him or her of the opportunity to get another job by somebody else.
That's
because
so
when
true.
you open the video,
Yeah.
the first name that comes up to say Clarence shot this,
Yeah.
you took that away and put Shopsy on that. So people are looking for Shopsy. They want to come pay me to direct videos, and then I'll go and make clients come and direct it, and then I'll take the money. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So we just need to, the business has to be right. We need to be more open with each other. We need to be honest, and just think about other people, man.
Yeah.
You know, how much? Come on, man.
I know, man. That's it. And the annoying thing is, it's not hard. It's not hard.
It's about the people that you're surrounded with. It's about the people you're surrounded with. You know, if the people you're surrounded with are used to taking advantage of people and getting things done for free and stuff like that, they wouldn't think about, you know, one of my friends that I just called there, shout outs to K Swiss, I taught him something years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I said, don't let anybody else's money stay in your pocket for more than one day. Because you're a human being. When you're holding someone else's cash in your pocket, what happens is you start to spend £10 and £20. So whatever it is you decided you wanted to give him before, now it's reduced by £10 or £20. The longer it gets, 50, 100. So what you now tend to do is you create reasons why the amount of money you pay that person for their service is reduced by every day. So once someone's money is in your pocket, find a way to get it across to them.
Word.
You know, don't let it. That was the first thing I told him. I said,
word.
once it's in your pocket, because that's cash that's in, okay, let me just quickly take £20 out. Let me just before you know it, you spend about £100. Okay, so now I need to justify why. Man, what job did he even do? Is he not just send one email to one person?
That one that one is a Nigerian thing. Because remember, even the government owes workers now. Sometimes a year, 2 years. Where in the world would you hear that kind of thing being done? Where you go to work, you come back, and the government will not pay you.
They don't.
Come on, man. Or in Nigeria, where I actually give you some money. You ask me to borrow you money, and I borrow you the money. You tell me you're going to give it back to me on Friday. 4 months after, you haven't given it to me. I asked for it, and then you go, come on, how much did I even collect from you?
The problem is that people don't care about the consequences of the little actions that they take.
Yeah.
And it grows into something big. And unfortunately, in the case of borrowing people money in Nigeria and stuff like that, sometimes you have to be honest. Like, people ask you to borrow their money, but you already know that
you're not
they're
getting
gonna
it
get. This person has no job. He's still trying to get a job. The money he borrowed from you, he's using it to pay a different debt. So it's a vicious cycle that we can only break by caring about each other.
Word. Agreed.
You know, if you're busting your ass, you know, working, and somebody's working, busting their ass just as hard alongside you, you shouldn't be getting fat while they struggle to put food on their table.
Word.
Once you start with the next man, then you start thinking about the next man, and then it will grow bigger.
True.
Whilst you're doing that, the industry grows. If we don't do that, the industry continues to rely solely on the musicians.
Individuals.
The musicians becoming successful, and you hoping that they stay true to their word and remember what you did. Nah, man.
That
Nobody.
doesn't work.
Most of the time, nobody does. When they start screaming their name, they're getting bags of groupies, champagne at clubs. They're buying gold chains and stuff like that. They will they never. Why should I be remembering your name? When all the girls here are shouting my name, every time people put flyers up, it's my name on the flyer. It's pills. Yo, what did you even do? I can go and get. Why? I can get another producer. Let me go and get another young producer that doesn't have a name that's making bad beats. Let me go and get him do a song. You remember back in the 90s, like the hip hop world,
Yeah.
when there's a big producer that's responsible for making hit records, a Pharrell, a Timberland, everybody goes there and you pay top dollar.
Top dollar, man. There was a time
You
this guy
go.
was half a mil.
Yeah, half a mil. You
You
go and pay top dollar because you're guaranteed a smash. And you don't care about how much he's getting paid. But right now, within the Afrobeats culture, even though you got 70 bags and you had to pay this guy 2K, you start to think, why this guy they collect 2K? Say? You forgotten the 70K that's in your own pocket for the job that he did or she did.
Wow.
That's because we don't respect roles.
No, they don't.
A media relations expert, a PR person, a producer, an image consultant, a photographer, a videographer, an editor, a video director. They're not respected as much as they should. Hence why you haggle almost to the point of not paying them what they're worth.
Almost, okay. Do you know how many producers, free beats? No worry, if you give me this beat now, people go know you.
But to be honest with you, if there are certain artists that will come in, it's a great business decision to give them a beat for free.
Yeah.
Guess why?
It could be better if you paid, though.
Guess what?
Yeah, what?
Because when you do your paperwork in the background, which is your split sheets and everything, the residuals coming back is going to be crazy. Now, when I was talking about the music business, doing the right business, a lot of the producers, the writers, a lot of them don't get no split shits, don't get no rights behind music.
Nothing.
A lot of them don't get that. And we're hearing and we're seeing a lot of it, we've heard it. So that's why all of them are saying, pay me up front. So there was this artist, if you remember the song, Panda.
Yeah.
The guy sold the beat for £250.
£250.
Or something.
What about the little, this Old Country Road? $30.
Yeah. So it would have been a different case if he had given him that beat and had split sheets and all that stuff on it. But publishing.
Yeah. But no, he still has it.
No, the one on Panda doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
The one on Panda doesn't. Sold the beat off. He was one of the reasons why the people that were selling beats online now decided that they would just,
hold on to publishing.
They'll give, because before they were just creating beats and just selling it for $200 or whatever it is. Yeah. But now, because of people like that, now they'll hold on to publishing. Yeah. So we need to get to that area this year, I think.
This year, that's well, it's possible.
No,
with technology, anything that involves technology can be enforced quickly. Yeah. So that's the good thing about the industry. But coming to here in the UK, where you'd expect that things are a bit more rigid or structured. Yeah. How come even here, in our little community, the African community in diaspora, we aren't that organized when it comes to the media, and we're not in sync as well.
I think in late 2019, I decided, I just got up. I felt it was important to speak to most of the media platforms here. One, obviously, as a media relations person, to consolidate my relationships with all these platforms that I utilize and I would use for business, but also to find a way to empower us, to put us in a position where people respect this group of Afro-focused media. A reason why they don't is because we're not in sync. Everybody, most of the time, again, has the individualistic approach where they're only thinking about themselves alone.
Yep.
So as long as they get in a room or they get the little deal, everybody else can piss off. So I had a meeting. I went to Vox Africa. I had a meeting with Ben Television, Yanga TV, Rock, everybody. And I was like, what exactly is the problem? One is that they've never sat around the table to just agree to play ball together. That's number one. Number two, in the early, I think it was like mid-2000s, when Afrobeats concerts were becoming big, press conferences and press days were huge. That's how, the Wizkid and P-Square concerts, got sold. The Coco concert and the Banj and everybody got sold.
Yeah.
And you had every Afro-focused platform in a room focused on whatever is being sold to them. But once we started becoming successful, it became about, this artist should come on my show, and, if they don't go on that person's show, then you don't really care. But the whole culture suffers for that.
Of course it does.
But it had to take a lot of, almost maturity and experience for me to realize that, so if someone is in touch with me, I'm saying, go hang out with DJ Edu, go hang out with, Abrante, hang out with Neptizo, hang out. So that way we empower the artists. We've given the artists the power now because we promoted them. They've become superstars.
Yeah.
Now it's time for them to empower the platforms that gave them that access.
I don't see that happening though.
Because now that the mainstream world and everybody's looking at the artists, your Wizkids, your Davidos, these are the boys, Burna Boy, Guess what you do with that spotlight? You bring it to the platform.
Bring it back home.
That gave you that focus.
Yeah.
So everybody now owns in on those platforms, and then we start to lift together.
Yeah.
Hip-hop will never disrespect the Breakfast Club or Hot 97 or Shade 45 or Big Boy Neighborhood what Atlanta. They will never do that.
Never.
Because if Breakfast Club disappears tomorrow, there's a generation of hip-hop artists that will never get that.
Yeah, true.
Same for Hot 97,
true.
Ebro in the Morning. Same for Shade 45, the legendary Sway.
Yeah.
Same for Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
But our artists, I don't think they understand that yet. And sometimes you don't understand it until it's gone. When you will be coming into the UK and the only platform you'll be able to get on will maybe be the BBC. And probably you're not hot that time, so the BBC ain't desperate to have you on.
Yeah.
They just want to pre-record your interview, dump it somewhere. And then you understand that Factory 78 is one of the most important platforms ever in the United Kingdom.
Word. Agreed,
That
man.
Ben Television is one of the most important platforms ever. That without Vox Africa, we weren't promoting live. Rock, Yanga TV, until we're losing ABN. ABN, from what I'm hearing, is disappearing off the sky.
Is it?
ABN, at a point, was the highest rated black TV station, not even African station. Black TV station in Europe.
What went wrong?
Which surpasses BET and everything. Yeah, they were killing everybody in numbers. They had the eyes of Ghana in the whole of Europe, fixated on ABN. So if you are a Ghanaian that wanted to touch your people, you pop on ABN TV or ABN radio, you are getting everybody's attention. But of course, we don't patronize ourselves.
We don't.
The right way. Instead of paying the right type of, the right type of fees for services that a platform like ABN can provide to you, they want to cut them. But they have overheads. They've got buildings. They've got licenses to pay. They have to pay Sky £50,000 or whatever just to beam them to the world every single year or something crazy. So it's a lot of money. Yeah. And until there are certain parts of, the African popular culture that might be making money, but it's not ready to pay that type of money back onto the platforms that are beaming into the rest of the world. So it's crazy. So I still say the entertainers with a lot of spotlight,
Yeah.
it
to bring it
is
home.
their responsibility. Until you listen, it's my responsibility as somebody within the media space that's promoting African popular culture to ensure that the rest of the world know about my culture. It is my that's why I was busting my ass in Peckham Rye, in Empire FM, in a studio that was hot and whatever during the summer, didn't go out. I felt like my people needed to feel proud. And I was busting my ass. I never believed that it could lead to an industry that was going to start getting, people who start getting payments from. I never, if you told me in 2003, never that could have happened. We're just doing it out of love and really being proud of our culture and whatever. And until the artists feel that responsibility, that, yeah, you're all right, you're cool, you're a celebrity now, but I've seen kings become paupers.
Word.
Don't get it twisted.
Word.
I have seen celebrities become people that walk past you that you can't even remember.
Word.
Because at the height of their celebrity status, they did not touch anybody else. They did not empower any platforms. They did not empower any artists, anybody else. It was all about me, me, me. And when the fire went out, the person that they would have empowered, who was in flames, could have lit them back up. Unfortunately, they didn't have nobody to do that to. So they just went quietly away.
And went cold.
And that's it.
That's crazy.
So when you are in flames, it's not for you to get belly fat and take care of yourself alone, me. No. Look back into the culture. Empower the promoters. People that are promoters, empower the promoters. Because they took a freaking risk. I don't care if it's the movies. I don't care if it's the concerts. DJ Abbas, how much money he's lost trying to promote Nollywood movies. Yeah, you're going to find out. How much money? Rockbo. How many promoters? Rockbo, Coco Bar, Smith. Go and ask them. Top Bar, Aquaba. The list goes on. Go and ask those guys how much money they have lost trying to promote their culture. And then the artist will come into town. You can't even show up at his club for free to give him a nice, good night so that he knows that celebrities come to his club. You're thinking of how much money is going to come into his pocket? You know, so we're too selfish. Bro, that's the honest truth. We're so selfish as a people.
We are.
You know, you want first 10 business class flights, blah, 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 and all this type of stuff. And yeah, that's cool. But how many, you want to get all that from O2 Islington, 700 capacity venue where the tickets are being sold for 20 pounds a pop, and the press have to be giving about 60 or 70 free tickets? That's where you want to get 5 business class from. Because someone's reached out to you to come promote yourself. Your music is kind of buzzing a little bit out there. I can't come to the club, you know. They pay me to come to the club. You know, somebody that's bust their ass promoting you and all that type of stuff. Man, you know, I can't come and perform, you know, because you can't come and show your face there for the people that are busting their ass for you.
It's
you know,
sad, man.
They're so selfish.
They're selfish.
So,
they're selfish.
You know, until we have a few artists, you know, we have a few artists that have a humane, they get it. And they think about other people, you know, they think about other people, they think about what they can
obviously,
do.
do you know any that you can name?
I know a few.
Because obviously it's a good thing. So it's,
you know, Davido is an artist that a lot of people, you know, people that are close to him will say that he's one of the reasons why I always want to mention names like David is, you know, at his 20,000 capacity shows, you know, I can still get Davido on Factory 78. At the height of everything. If I tell you, say, the biggest record in the world, fire, everything is burning right now, I can still force my way, even though sometimes some people around them might want to make it difficult. Oh, he's tired. Oh, he can't come. But when you touch the brother himself, He's like, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. Yeah. That's Shopsy. That's DJ Larry. Nah, man, let's go.
That's cool.
That's Ben TV. Yeah, let's do it.
That's really good.
He would do it. The people, the likes of like Yemi Alade, that's family. Like, even when they're tired, she's tired. I could say, we need to go and do Ben Television, and we have to. She's gonna get up and do it because she knows that in 2014. When she was busting her ass all around the world trying to promote one song with absolutely nothing in it, just belief of her and her team at that time. There were certain people that opened those doors for her and elevated, that career just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And those relationships, Yemi Alade will come into the UK and go into the BBC like 3-4 times a year for an interview. How many artists would a big platform like that open their doors to? But it's because of the relationship that she continues to build with them.
Word.
She's been on breakfast shows. She's been on DJ Edu. She's been on Focus on Africa. But every time she walks through the door, somebody in that platform wants to have her and promote her.
Word.
Because her and people around her team, they remember. If you don't remember, you get a harsh reality real soon. No. All of us have had that. If you don't remember, that's why there's no way I'm gonna be able to forget a Ronkia Pampa, forget a Mimi Fawaz, forget a DJ Abbas, forget a DJ Gay, forget a DJ Lanre, forget a Smade, forget. There is no way. Mr. Silk, those names that have been consistent in the push of the energy God and Shopsy Doo that you see today. Those names have been consistent and reoccurring in my life, personally or in business.
How did you even meet Lanre?
We were at the same station. I met at Voice of Africa Radio. I used to do like 10 to 12 playing. It was called the Urban Afrobeat Show. Wow. It was the Black Beats Show first with my brother Don. And then we switched it up to Urban Afrobeats when we got to Voice of Africa Radio, I think in 2006. And DJ Larry was this cat who would come in at 12 midnight and play the midnight hours, the graveyard shit. But he used to set up the computer. It was so passionate. And we used to think like, this brother is mad. At this time of the night, when we didn't even know who was listening to us, but he was so passionate and we connected from there. So after I left the radio station, we left about 2 years later on. He had been doing the Factory 78 by himself, record the interviews. And I was like, I went to have a meeting with him. And I remember completely what I said. Like, if I team up with you, I guarantee you that I'll be able to help take this platform to where you want to take it to. And he was like, a lot of people have said that in the past, but he'll give me a shot. Let's try it.
Wow.
And that was it.
That is crazy.
And that's how Factory 78 became legendary.
That is crazy.
You had the opportunity to interview everybody for the first
everyone.
time. Wizkid,
everyone. Everyone's been on there. Burna,
everybody.
David.
We were the first interview with Burna Boy when he came back into the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, the first interview in the flat at Aldgate. Sneak Bo was on the seat, drinking and smoking, whatever. Mom's and Auntie Bosse was in the kitchen. She was making food for her son's friends. The barber was cutting Burna's hair. He just come in. His Uncle T was around. I think Chesson director was there making some silly jokes. He needs to know that too. But he was in there. That was we were the first to interview a lot of people.
Wow.
A lot of people and open doors, and we're just happy to be doing that.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good. It's the passion drives it, and the passion is self-evident. The thing now is, how do we assist platforms like that? You get what I'm saying? How do we assist them?
We take the celebrity statuses. The celebrities need to go back. You want to empower those platforms to become stronger and remain there for eternity. I don't care if it's Cool FM Lagos, The Beat 99 Lagos. I don't care if it's City FM. I don't care what platform it is. Go back as a superstar. When they've supported you to the biggest level, you are now the #1 artist in the world. You're enjoying everything. Go back to those platforms and sit down and put the spotlight on them. Show support. Some of these cats, you might not be able to give them money. What they want is your stardom,
presence.
just to put a little spotlight on them to go fishing themselves. That's what they want.
And how hard is it to do that?
Bro, when our celebrities, a lot of our celebrities, they forget, bro. They forget. Man, I've been in positions where I've been hurt. I've had to call certain artists, be like, yo, you came to London. Like, you didn't even reach out. I drove you in my car.
Wow.
I drove you. I know people I have driven. I've driven, personally taken. I'll go and drive. When we're doing Factory 78 interviews, some artists that couldn't come, I'll go and pick them up myself and bring them. I drive you around and drop you back off. I'll take them around. When Davido first came, they took a cab to us. I drove them to where they picked a cab to where they left. David, Chairman, B-Red, Shino Rambo, the whole cab. I remember. You know, when it was 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. Yeah. You know, so there's some people you have to be like, you'll be brokenhearted. Like, these people, man. You know, sometimes you just suck the energy out of you. So I know. You just be like,
At least thank God you're the energy guy.
because I get the energy from my kids, man. Like, you know, like I advise a lot of people. I've got 3 kids. Oh, wow. I've got a 13-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son, and my 2-year-old boss. Wow. She's the one that she's the one that runs the show. You know, and I tell people, like, to be able to do what we do without the type of accolades that you deserve, the financial rewards, you need to have someone or something you look to for inspiration, excitement, you know, just more energy. And when I'm at my lowest, I get low too. Of course. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't do nothing. So everything you see is off of Coca-Cola, water, Maximum's Red Bull. And I would probably just sit down and I'd be like, yo, what's the next move? And a 2-year-old just walks into the room and, you know, just comes to sit down next to me, give daddy a hug, and wants to sit down. Whilst I'm watching TV, she wants to be watching her iPad and just chill there with me. And I'm like, yo, she really doesn't care if I have 100,000 pounds. Like, I've been in my house with no heating before. And I got home late. There was no heating. The place was cold. You know, everything. Like the heater was poured that I was so emotional. And my daughter was like, Dad, that's okay, man.
Wow.
You know, we're staying.
Wow.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm like, wow.
That's crazy.
That's a child that noticed that her father was at his breaking point. And guess what she did? She acted like the biggest problem in the world meant nothing
to her. That's crazy.
I'm just sitting down.
That is so sweet.
Can you imagine?
So sweet.
I'm looking. Don't worry. We'll be fine. I'll just dress up my brother and, you know, my sister, and it will be cool. We'll be in the room. We'll turn on the little heater in the room, and it will be fine. Don't worry. I got out panicking like, oh, I need to call. Don't worry. We'll deal with it tomorrow, man. I'm like, what? And then how can you not be motivated to fight to the nail to try to just do something for these kids, man? Like, they don't care. They're just cool people, you know. I think the biggest contribution a human being can make to this universe is to raise respectful, happy kids. That's it. You know, I tell my son when I drop him off at school every morning. Now he says it back to me like, it's good morning, please, and thank yous. Always remember. Good morning, please, and thank you. If it's in the afternoon, good afternoon. Please, can I have? Thank you for giving me.
Word.
You know, you give them those 3, there's no way your kids won't be respectful in life. Those are the 3 principles. Always say hello to somebody, be respectful. Say please when you ask. say thank you when you
Show
give
you
it.
gratitude. That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
This guy, you're making me think of my children.
I swear, those kids,
Man.
they're everything to us, man. That's the reason why we're passionate about this stuff,
Yeah.
man. Like, I was, whilst I was on stage at Afro Nation in Ghana, they sent me a video of my kids watching their dad live on TV.
Wow.
I was being a fool, big fool, whining on girls, everything. My kids were saying, "Oh, daddy," and I'm like, "Yo, they don't care. They know that that's daddy's just fooling around. He's trying to make sure the bills are paid."
Is that work?
Yeah.
That is at work.
So that's where the energy comes from. That's where the inspiration comes from. Obviously, I love my culture. I'm a proud African, a proud Yoruba boy, a proud Nigerian.
Straight. You're from Ondo, Abi?
Efon Ekiti.
But you did close. I mean, I'm from Idonre.
Yeah, I'm Efon Alaye, Ekiti State.
Wow.
Super proud Ekiti boy. And, I was raised by a man that, had so much pride in his culture. I never knew that my dad could speak Yoruba properly until he joined politics. My father's a medical doctor. One of the most intelligent, good-looking, tall, charismatic men I've probably would ever know. And, not until he joined politics did I hear my father speak Yoruba extensively. And I'm like,
Wow.
all my life, I've lived with this guy.
He's never spoken Yoruba.
He speaks Yoruba, but
Okay,
he
what?
never goes deep. My dad now became somebody with those parables and
Wow.
depth and speeches in Yoruba. I'm like, yo, this guy. So that's where I've come from. A family of pride in our culture, in ourselves, in our heritage.
Yeah.
And, Afrobeats and Afro-popular culture gave me another opportunity to have pride in something. And being in the United Kingdom gave me the blessing to love the beautiful culture that is Africa. If I was in Nigeria, I would be so proudly Nigerian. Because I wouldn't be able to see everything else. But I was lucky to have been raised by a lot of Ghanaian teachers. Like my first best friend in school, George Amatelai, was a Ghanaian. We used to go to his house. His father's Ghanaian. They moved away. But coming into the UK, and then my teachers throughout primary school, they were Ghanaians.
Yeah.
So I had that. We had a family, driver that was a Ghanaian. So by coming to the UK and having to blend with everybody else, I see Uganda, Ghanaians, so instantly my pride now.
I know. If there's one thing that I really beat myself up for, funny enough, is that my Yoruba is not as good as my English.
Yeah.
I speak very good Yoruba, very, very good Yoruba, but my Yoruba is not up to the point where, like you said,
a lot of people, you have to understand that whilst we were growing up, a lot of people felt like speaking Yoruba, speaking your traditional language was a negative.
Yeah.
And
Terrible.
it's the biggest mistake. Like I say it all the time, like only Nigerians are the ones you see on the buses in London with their terrible accents want to force their kids to speak in English. You're on bus 51 going through Elephant and Castle and you're saying, God, stop it. What's wrong with you, child? I'm like, speak the language of the kid. Only us.
That's crazy.
Everybody else is proud. Pakistani, Indian. The kids don't speak English till they get to school. I tell everybody all the time, like, all this one that you're trying to, so that your kids can be speaking Funai and stuff like that, they'll learn English in school. What will give them pride is the fact that you can take them home and they can understand what their friends and cousins and everybody's saying. Look at how everybody's proud to be African now. Now imagine how those that were so ashamed of their culture, how they feel now. Man. When everybody wants that culture that you disregarded. The language that you thought was low, everybody wants to learn it now. Wizkid is teaching them language in songs. Davido is teaching them language in songs. Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, they're doing that. Or the Yoruba, Wahala is common English in the UK now. I don't mean no one, no Wahala. Wahala is like Wagwan now. So...
Stop it.
Yeah, because our people don't know. Hopefully, the new generation, when I was leaving home, my daughter was watching a YouTube channel where it's like teenage Nigerian kids. they're making fun of their parents on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And some of the stuff that, so she gets that joke, so they'll be speaking the language. Oh, what is this?
Yeah.
And then they say it, and
My kids do it as well.
yeah, so they watch that.
My kids, funny enough, they embrace the culture, but because my wife is not Nigerian, you get even she.
Where's she from?
She's from Jamaica. She's British
That's
Jamaican.
fantastic,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So
she connects with a Jamaican. What? That's the
both.
It's the beauty.
She does egusi. She does moi moi.
It's the best thing.
Everything.
It's the best of both worlds.
Oh man.
It's the best of both
Oh
worlds.
man.
So they can understand patois. They can understand.
Yeah.
I tell people, you speak both languages to them. Empower them. Make them the strongest anybody can be.
Word.
What are you talking about? My mother is from Jamaica, which means I know everything from Kingston to Ocho Rios to whatever.
Bah.
This is the garrison that she's from, or
Word.
whatever she's from.
Yeah.
My dad is from Lagos, Nigeria.
Bah.
From Surulere,
Bah.
Ujeleba. What? Don't talk to me.
Bah.
You
Word.
know, if they get angry, it could switch from patois to broken. Are you mad?
You did crazy.
Man. It's a blessing.
Word.
And because we never allowed people to embrace those blessings is why people have lost. It's the biggest blessing.
So, for me now,
Yeah.
it's hard for me because not only me, they speak Yoruba for the house.
It's great.
Great. Okay.
Absolutely. And your wife can speak patois to them fantastically. It is the greatest form of empowering a child's mind because you're teaching them languages at a particular age where they are capable of learning as many and speaking as many as possible. And also teaching them a part of their culture that they will feel a part of once they go home and when they start going home, which they will do. They will go to Jamaica. They will connect to their Nigerian roots.
Can't they just watch Nollywood movies?
Nollywood does a great job too.
Yeah.
Nollywood does a great. I think that was probably one of the biggest kind of like bringing together of the West Indies and Africa, because the Nollywood industry blew up in the West Indies, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago. They were watching Nollywood movies. They started to see that most of the upbringing was similar to what we're doing. They've got this, that. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We laughed at the same jokes. We're pretty much saying the same things. So I would say, don't even worry. I started with small things. Like I take a bath for my kids every day. I drop my son to school every day. My oldest daughter, I did it till she was big enough to start going to school by herself and became, a big girl. But I would take a bath for her in the morning. I would say, pass me this, buy me more cream, yeah? No well to see me. She would put her leg to me. I'd say, no, or where? She'll guess which hand. I'll say, yeah, that one. And I did that every single day.
Wow.
And that's what I do to my son. Koye see me, pauju ede, line one. That's it. Just little things. Little things. And then they'll say, oju, enu, imu, owo, ese. Basics. And then when he got to some level, I'll even tell them, like, my son will go disappear in the kitchen for like 30 minutes. Come back with a knife. I'm like, nah. Oh, me. Go get me what? Not a knife. But the fact that he was even in the kitchen for 20 minutes, it showed me he was thinking about it. He wasn't sure which one. And, and I'm not going to, you get it right. And from that, they got it. And now I just have a general conversation with them in Yoruba. They won't answer back to you. My daughter
understand what you're saying.
Perfectly, very perfect. She went to Nigeria. They are proper. You think they were raised back home in Nigeria? Proper Yoruba children. They want ayamasi. They that's proper. But it came out of the women. My wife. She wanted the easiest way to communicate, as always. Come, sit down. No, don't do that. No, sit down
Stop
is
it.
different to Joko Sibe.
Yeah.
That's different. Like, when I say even to my 2-year-old, that's one of the moments when she say, no, daddy, but she'll go and do what I said. When say, oh, don't worry. No, daddy. And she grumpily, because she knows now that the conversation has changed stop being naughty. Sit down. No. You have to allow your wife to talk to her. Do it. Trust me. You will, in 10, 12 years, you will be so glad you did, because you would have empowered those kids so much. People would adore them for the beauty of both cultures that they understand.
That's true.
People would adore them. They'll be able to go home to Jamaica and spend time with family. Then it's Christmas. They want to go to Lagos. And some of my nieces that are going to Nigeria for Christmas now, these were people that were never born in Lagos. People that their parents are spending Christmas here. They're in Lagos for 3 weeks, bro. As grown-ups in their 20s. Wow. Britico people that never had nothing to do with Nigeria.
That's crazy.
But because in the house, it felt like it was Nigeria already. Parents always spoke the language to them and taught them the culture. So when the Afrobeats and Nollywood now came and sold that culture to them, and they saw that there were also people their age, a generation back home in Africa that was living the type of life and into what they were into, and the pride started to grow. Wizkid and Davido doing 20,000 capacity. So I don't only have to wait to see Drake. I can go see David or Burna Boy or
even the Afro Nation thing. Tell me about that, man.
Afro Nation is just a blessing, man. Like, shout outs to Smade, OB, Echo Talent, Live Nation. They just came together to create the biggest beach festival, Afro-focused beach festival. That was a huge risk last year. Kicked off in Portugal. They decided to create a black festival, an African festival that celebrated African superstars. So your Davids, your Burners, they took them to Portugal, a massive risk. One of the most disrespected people in the community is the black woman.
Yes.
Not only the black woman.
Even disrespected by her kind.
Not even the black woman, the African woman. So what Afro Nation found a way to do was took a risk to say, we're going to believe that there is that the black woman, the African woman, doesn't only have the resources as any other woman in the world, but also wants to enjoy themselves like any other woman in the world. So we're going to take a risk and say we're going to go and create a festival maybe 2 hours away from England, where it was going to cost thousands of pounds, not only to buy tickets, but also to pay for hotels, accommodation, feeding, and kind of stuff to be around. Afro Nation is successful because it was 80% black women. 80% black
80%.
women. I'm telling you. 80% black women of all shapes, sizes, and complexions. So a festival that I don't care how tall, short, big, slim you are, you came into the crowd and they only cared about how much fun you're about to have. And because of that, Afro Nation became a success. Period.
It's crazy.
Not only in Portugal, but in Ghana. It's pure African queens.
Was the Ghanaian crowd, was that?
What? Mad. Bro, that's why the Ghanaian president just signed a 5-year deal with Afro Nation 3 days ago to keep it in Ghana for the next 5 years. That's a smart president that regardless of whether he's doing what he's supposed to be doing for the community, people will have their criticisms, oh, the roads are bad, there's no electricity. But he decided to sign a deal with something that was going to invest back into the tourism and touch the people of Ghana on the streets of Accra, in the markets, the people that were employed by Afro Nation, the hotels that people stayed in, the markets that we went to shop, the food that was the people in Ghana that was going to benefit from that.
You brought money into the economy,
Brought
isn't
that
it?
into the economy. You know,
Crazy.
Afro Nation is incredible.
Crazy.
There's never been anything like it.
And these
I
are the
know-
sort of things that our people, our leaders should see and be falling over themselves
Yes,
to get.
and it shows you how incredible the Ghanaian team were, because it's two Nigerians, Obi and Smade, that they decided to welcome in, where the Nigerian, the government and the country probably didn't see the benefits to that.
As always.
As always, they probably thought about themselves rather than the locals that were going to benefit from it. It's the locals. It's the locals. It's not the government that benefits from that. It's the locals first before it sips into the government. Now Ghana has become the #1 destination in Africa, particularly at Christmas. I dare you to say anywhere else, because of what they did with the year of return of 2019 and December in Accra. From
There was a lot
Afro
around that
Nation,
year of return.
they just became smart about it. Year of return, so people came from Jamaica,
From America.
people-
Like
over
the
700,000.
TI,
Everybody was
everyone
there.
was there, yeah. Crazy,
And
man.
they have preserved all the tourism sites that really kind of that would open your eyes to slavery, and all those historical sites are kept, so people will feel connected to that. So if you're Jamaican, Trinidadian, or whatever, you go there, they will show you where your ancestors were before they left. This was the door of no return. This was where your ancestors came from. So shout outs to Ghana, man. Shout outs to Ghana. Shout outs to the government. Shout outs to the people, the wonderful people of Ghana who opened their doors and showed us nothing but absolute love and kindness. Bruv, it was
Ghanaians, they're cool people.
it was a free for all to take advantage of foreigners, because there were too many people with too much money in their hands. But no, those people, they responded by being respectful
And hospitable.
and bro, I had an amazing time. I don't think it's possible for me to go to Nigeria now going forward without going to Ghana. It's not possible.
I've never been to Ghana.
It's the most amazing place. Most amazing place. Most amazing people. Like, most amazing. It's incredible. That's one of the blessings of our generation. That now we're tearing down those walls. Like, it's amazing. And it's just next door. 15 minutes to
I
Lagos.
know, that's why.
It's shameful.
Shameful,
Oh,
man.
no. When you get there, you find out, man, the people.
Yeah, you fly over Ghana, go
It's the
further.
same
and
food,
come
man. The same people. It's just wonderful people.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't talk about Ghana enough. I've always loved the musicians. I've always had a good relationship with the musicians and really, really loved them. But I had the chance to meet the people. And for me, I'm a people person. So I go off energy. That's all I read. Souls, spirits, energies. That's all I read. I walk into a room and that's what will lead me.
Yeah.
From the minute I touched down the airport, from day one, it's just
All love.
I can't speak enough.
Obviously, the airport compared to us.
That's Terminal 5, man. The Kotoka Airport is Terminal 5, bro. Incredible airport. You touch down, you got free Wi-Fi, bro. Free Wi-Fi every 30 minutes. You can browse anything, Instagram, Snapchat, FaceTime, whatever you want to do. In Ghana, bro.
Hot Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria. The governments have continuously let our people down. Some of the most hardworking people in the world, the most compassionate human beings that you could ever come across, the most honest and just grind hard, ride or die people who would smile in the darkest of moments. Yet the leaders have done nothing but take advantage of that and not pay them back. Nigerians are the most forgiving and
that's the fault, isn't it? That's the reason why we're being used.
Forgiving, we've got a short memory because we just want to be successful. And because we have been brought up in a way where you think about the next day and, tomorrow will be a better day. Tomorrow will be a better day. And maybe after 70 or 80 years of you struggling, my son will do better, my son's son will get better. We always have that feeling of a better tomorrow. Because of that, we've been taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And the people deserve a lot better, man. Like, sometimes I just dream, like, maybe just have, like, maybe like £1 billion, and let me just go to Lagos and just go and find one Chinese company. Let's put solar energy in one. Let's create one little
They
city.
won't allow you to do it. Even if
I
it's
just
for
want to
your money.
create a little
Even if it's
city
your money.
outside of Lagos or whatever, where there's solar energy and people can come and set up their businesses there. And
Like what
people
Akon's
can
doing,
Yeah, Akon is a businessman, so what he's doing business, man.
Yeah.
Me, I just want to go and do stuff that's going to empower the nation, man.
Your philanthropic side.
Where people, look at what we grew up to. We had people that used to grind pepper. That was what you take pepper to the place. They had a machine to grind
that machine that was...
The hairdressers. We had people that had ice block companies, frozen foods companies. And all of those people lost out because the country couldn't provide them electricity. Those are petty traders that we buried under the ground, bro. And those that survived in that industry are having to charge through the nose because they have to pay through their veins to stay alive.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Because it takes us back to the first question on this topic.
Is it selfish?
Because we don't care about the next man.
Yes, being selfish. It always comes back. It always comes full circle.
The billionaires, they fly to the UK. Their kids are flying, looking nice on Instagram, and everybody kissing their asses because they're hungry and stuff. They're doing all sorts of stuff. They flying around the world, and everybody else is, busting their ass. And just the kids have no hope.
No. Well, I guess there is a ray of sunshine. I guess the whole, I've seen you post on Instagram on several occasions, and I can relate to it. Where you go, these are your true ambassadors of Nigeria.
Facts.
When you have people like Israel Adesanya,
Facts.
Kamaru Usman, even the people like Wizkid, these people who
David,
represent,
Yemi, Tiwa, those are the people. Those are my ambassadors of Nigeria because they have found a way to promote us as a people, as a culture, without getting a penny and being supported by any governments. These people have solely done it through their love for their art and their resilience to succeed and their ambition to be a person, one significant person in this world. They manage to promote our culture. Yeah, the likes of Ed Sheeran and Stormzy and all these people, as successful as they are, there are programs within the British government, the UK Trade and Investment, the London the Mayor of London, all these different funds and whatever that is still there to support British brands, be it musicians, artists, entertainers, to promote the British culture to the rest of the world. America noticed decades ago that Hollywood was going to be their gateway of painting America a certain way, and they backed Hollywood heavily. Tax breaks, studios, all of that stuff. But no, our government officials will rather want to book Davido to come and perform at their son's weddings or perform in a bedroom whilst he's there, which is great to pay the artists. But you can use that money to build imagine 4 different locations in Lagos that has studios for creatives that people young girls and guys can go into and just do that stuff for free.
Yeah, word. I know, man. Shopware, I said we could go on and on.
I appreciate it, man.
Before we round up here, what can we expect? I know you're a man full of creativity. Is there anything new coming this year?
I just think that this year it's going to be a lot more collaborative efforts. I think the message I'd like to put out there for everybody is 2020 should be about collaborations rather than solo endeavors. Yes, you can be a solo success, but I believe that you are stronger, better, get there quicker, and gain more power by collaborating with others. Look around you and look at somebody that you can team up with. If you're a video director, look at somebody that can, that can handle audio for you. If you're a presenter, look for someone that can edit stuff for you. If you're a musician, look for another musician. Let's join forces.
Babe.
When we join forces this year, we will make bigger strides. And hopefully having the opportunity to speak on platforms like this and speaking to OGs like yourself and people that really care about human beings and then the culture and stuff, we'll be able to get to the right people within our industry that will make the difference, that will make the change. A lot of people will continue to be selfish and self-centered, but don't worry, they will go down by themselves, without a doubt. But others would look at their present position and their opportunities as an opportunity to empower a people, a culture, an industry that eventually will come back and feed them. And once we get to those ones, that's the one I would want for them to get message here. 2020, the sky's the limit. There's Afro Nation Puerto Rico, Afro Nation Portugal. There's so many other shows happening, but we need to get to a position where everybody in that food chain gets a bite.
With that, man, enough said. See you guys. Peace.
Peace out.